If there was one person on the team that you could pick as your best friend, you can only pick one, who would it be? Eric Bieniemy. Ah, God, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Where the enemies at? Running this thing like Eric Bieniemy's back. Woo-hoo!
Welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm your host, and tonight the ground is literally shaking in Kansas City. Chiefs Kingdom is reeling from a really bad Week 15 loss that didn't just end their season, but may have broken the strong base of one of the greatest teams the NFL has ever seen. The news is sad, and it comes in a tough double hit. The Chiefs are officially out of the playoffs, ending a long run of making the postseason every year. It's the first time since 2014 they won't be in the playoffs, but the hurt gets worse because of what happened to their big star player. Broken heart disaster in the AFC West. Mahomes is down and the streak is over. In a close, low-scoring game against their rival Los Angeles Chargers, the Kansas City Chiefs lost 16-13. That score means they finish with a disappointing 6-8 record. This loss ends several big records. 7 straight AFC West Division titles, 7 straight AFC Championship games, and the end of Patrick Mahomes' personal record of never missing the playoffs as a starting quarterback. The heartbreak got bigger in the fourth quarter. Star quarterback Patrick Mahomes hurt his knee badly after Chargers defensive end Deshaun Hand tackled him from behind. The team quickly said the worst news: a torn ACL that will keep him out for the rest of the year. Recovery for an ACL surgery usually takes 8 to 12 months, meaning the Chiefs could be without their main player for the start or maybe even more of the 2026 season. This is a huge shakeup. Mahomes is the heart of the whole Chiefs team. A quarterback whose smart plays and quick thinking changed how the position works and made the team who they are. To see him limping off the field, leaning on trainers, was like a picture of the whole season. The Chiefs' time of being the best has been stopped hard. As one person said, for a team whose whole plan depends on Mahomes' smart plays and quick moves, that is a huge change. The team, once loved for being strong everywhere, now has big questions. Question mark. The big question. Is this the end for Travis Kelce? Right after the shock of the injury and missing the playoffs, everyone starts talking about the other big part of the Chiefs' great run, superstar tight end Travis Kelce. Big NFL insider Adam Schefter talked about the obvious issue right away. Kelce's future is very unclear. Schefter said, and really every expert agrees, it's possible we won't see one of the greatest quarterback tight end teams ever play together again. Kelce, who is 36 and in his 13th season, already thought hard about retiring after the team lost the last championship game. He came back because he wanted one more Super Bowl win. But now, with no playoffs and his quarterback facing a long recovery, the reason for him to keep playing through another hard NFL season is much smaller. Looking at Kelce's 2025 season. While Kelce is a future Hall of Famer with amazing career numbers, leading the team in receiving yards and touchdowns and holding the NFL record for most postseason catches, his 2025 season showed clear signs of getting older. Through Week 15, Kelce had 67 catches for 797 yards and 5 touchdowns. While that's okay for a tight end, it's a clear drop from his best years. For example, he had a league record 7 straight seasons with over 1,000 receiving yards until last year, and his yards after catch per play are lower, showing his speed and power to break tackles are starting to fade. Kelce himself has been open about feeling frustrated this season. He said on his podcast, "I feel like I've always had answers in years past, and this year I just can't find them." That kind of real talk from a top player shows how hard this tough season has been on him inside and out. The mix of lower numbers, the team's losing, and now losing his MVP quarterback makes retiring a very real choice. Looking back in history, a dynasty stopped. To understand how big this fall is, you have to look at Chiefs history. The team, which plays in the loud Arrowhead Stadium, has old roots from legendary quarterback Len Dawson, leading them to their first Super Bowl title in 1970, to the scary defense of Derek Thomas in the 90s. But the Mahomes, Reed, Kelce time was like nothing before. Since Mahomes became the starter in 2018, the Chiefs have ruled the AFC with the sure rule that they will be in the AFC Championship game. They've won 3 Super Bowls in that time, Live, LVI, and LV8. The quick drop to a 6-8 record, missing the playoffs, and now facing a huge injury is a fall that matches any great team losing its power. This 2025 season fall didn't happen fast. It was a perfect mix of problems. An offensive line that struggled to protect well, which sadly led to the Mahomes injury, a group of receivers that never really replaced players who left, a problem that kept coming back, and defense mistakes that lost them important games, especially against AFC West rivals the Raiders and Chargers. Fictional voices, the upset in Chiefs Kingdom. I talked to a made-up but typical fan from Chiefs Kingdom. Let's call her Red and Gold Rita from St. Louis. Red and Gold Rita. I haven't felt this sick about the Chiefs since the 90s. Patrick is the heart of this team, and seeing him go down with an ACL tear, it's devastating. But Travis retiring, that's what's really breaking my heart. The connection they have, the touchdowns, the energy they bring to Arrowhead, it's magic. If he leaves and Patrick is out for a year, this dynasty is officially on pause. We're going from Super Bowl contenders to the draft board watch list overnight. I also got a quote from a made-up former Chiefs player who is now a sports analyst. Two-time Tony. Look, this is the harsh reality of the NFL. It's a young man's league and injuries happen. But for the Chiefs, this is a crisis. Coach Andy Reid is under contract, but he's 67. Does he want to stick around for a rebuilding year without his QB? Chris Jones, their defensive superstar, has to be looking at this and wondering about his own future. This team is projected to be way over the cap in 2026. Mahomes' contract restructure will be painful. The good part is that they will now have a rare high draft pick, possibly top 15. They really need to pick a great offensive lineman or a game-changing receiver to help Mahomes when he comes back. Rocket predictions and what it means. A very important offseason. The 2026 offseason is now the most important time for the Kansas City Chiefs since Andy Reid and Alex Smith came over a decade ago. The choices made in the next few months will decide if this is just a bump or the permanent end of their great run. The Mahomes timeline. His recovery schedule means the Chiefs must plan for Gardner Minshew or another older quarterback to lead the team into the 2026 season. They absolutely cannot rush the $500 million man back onto the field. The main goal is his long-term health. The Kelce decision. If Kelce retires, the Chiefs lose maybe the greatest tight end ever and Mahomes' most trusted target. Given his age, his drop in play, and his life outside football, including his relationship with Taylor Swift and maybe a 2026 wedding, retiring after a bad season full of injuries is a clean way to stop. The Chiefs must now get ready for that loss. And veteran Noah Gray may have to play a much bigger role. Roster rebuilding, the offense, even when healthy, had gone stuck this year. They must use that high draft pick to get top talent. They need fast receivers and more help on the offensive line. The pressure is on general manager Brett Veach to handle the salary cap problems and find players who make a big difference, not just fill-in players, to bring the offense back to life. The exciting show that lit up Arrowhead Stadium and ruled the NFL for years is officially done for the season. The great Kansas City Chiefs dynasty is now facing its first real moment of very hard trouble. Clap aboard motivational closing. The pain is real in Chiefs Kingdom, but the true test of a champion team is how it answers the worst possible news. Patrick Mahomes is already promising to come back stronger, tougher, and faster. The Chiefs have 3 more games left against the Tennessee Titans, the Denver Broncos on Christmas Day, and the Raiders to play for nothing but pride, setting a fighting tone for what will be a long, hard off season. We'll be here every step of the way tracking Mahomes' recovery and Travis Kelce's decision. Will he retire? Will he give it one more year with a recovering Mahomes? The future of the Chiefs rests on these questions. Tune in next week as we break down the Chiefs' first game without Patrick Mahomes. Don't go anywhere.